Good morning and happy Wednesday. There is no ramblin' while amblin' this morning because it is rainy and I don't film in the rain. However, I figured I'd give you something, and since John Lennon has risen from the dead and is desperate to prove that Earl was convicted of aggravated sexual assault, I figured I'd go over exactly why he is making a mistake. He is relying on this. This is a summary of the activities in the state of Texas versus David Earl Warden. This is the case. In here, he's reading judge offense, aggravated sexual assault level F1. And I'm not mistaking his argument. He's right there. This is what he's saying it. He's very, very sure that it is aggravated. And he's just misreading it. It's not a big deal. How do I know he's misreading it? Well, first of all, these aren't always accurate. They're not 100%. We know that he was charged with aggravated sexual assault. We know that he was charged with it. There is no denying that he was charged with aggravated sexual assault. He used a firearm. That was the charge. But we also know that he was convicted of sexual assault. You see, this is the state of Texas versus David Earl Warden. This is the jury verdict form. And you could see that the jury had several options. They could have signed, see, for man or for lady of the jury, they could have signed that we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, but they did not sign that. They could have signed we, the jury, find the defendant, Earl David Warden, guilty of aggravated sexual assault as charged in the indictment. We just saw the indictment. They could have signed that. They did not. They did, however, sign we, the jury, find the defendant, Earl David Warden, guilty of sexual assault. You see, this is what's called a signature by the foreman or forelady. I don't know if that was a man or a woman. And you can see it was filed January 23rd of 1986. You don't have the judgment for the... Oh, you don't have the judgment of the jury verdict in there. That's funny. That's the important thing. There is a judgment, jury verdict. Jury sworn, jury verdict rendered. Right there. Boom. 1/23, January 23rd of 1986. January 23rd, 1986. This is showing that there was a jury verdict rendered. This is showing the actual jury verdict. The actual jury verdict is guilty of sexual assault. If you can explain to me how a judge can convict a defendant of aggravated sexual assault when the jury returned a verdict of guilty of sexual assault, I would be ever so impressed to see it. This is the jury verdict. There is no way, no how, that this can turn into an aggravated sexual assault unless it gets heard again for some weird reason that I don't completely understand. But you could also tell from the sex offender registry, this is the official Texas Department of Public Safety. This is their official sex offender registry. You can see that the offense that he was convicted of is Texas Penal Code 22.011. 22.011 is sexual assault. 22.021 is aggravated sexual assault. He was convicted of sexual assault. He was convicted of sexual assault. he was charged with aggravated sexual assault because he used a firearm, but he wasn't convicted of it. There was a judgment on the offense, but that doesn't say judgment. There's a reason why one says judgment and one says judge offense. Anyway, the judgment was the jury verdict. So I hope you understand that. These aren't always entirely accurate. They're not always easy to read. I am an attorney. I'm admittedly only a first-year family law attorney, but they are hard to read. Every district, every county, every circuit has a different way of notating things like this, if they even show them to you at all. And what is important is the actual documents. So, Mr. Lennon, if that is your real name, he's like,
Where did you go to law school? What's your state bar number? What firm do you work for? Your move, counselor.
Anyway, Mr. Lennon, if that is your real name, I have offered you a very easy way to prove it. Just show me the actual sentencing document that says he was convicted of aggravated sexual assault. Because you see, my friend, this is not an actual sentencing document. This is meaningless. You can't take this into the clerk and file it. This is meaningless. I hope that was instructive. I hope that was informative. I hope you could all see how John Lennon he's not going to win this argument. Unless, of course, he does come up with an actual document that shows, like an actual signed by a judge document, a sentencing document that shows he was convicted of aggravated sexual assault. I would accept that. And I would wonder how the hell it got there, considering that the jury returned a verdict of guilty of sexual assault. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a happy Wednesday.